Imagine logging on onto Roblox and seeing over 1 million people playing the same game. Not a front page simulator, not a giant event, a football game, an anime football game. That game was called Blue Lock Rivals. For a period of time, it was everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Discord, friend groups, everybody was talking about Blue Lock Rivals. It wasn't just any other Roblox game. It was becoming one of the biggest experiences on the platform. But if the game was so successful, why do players seem so little today? Some say it will never be the same. Why do you think many veterans talk about the golden era like it was a completely different game? And how did a game that once reached over 1 million concurrent players lose so much momentum? This is the story of the rise and fall of Blue Lock Rivals. Before Blue Lock Rivals existed, anime football games on Roblox were an interesting place. They were football games. They were anime games. But very few games successfully combined both. Most football games focused on realism. Most anime games focused on flashy abilities. Nobody had the perfect merge the two. Then Blue Lock happened. The anime exploded in worldwide popularity. Suddenly, everyone wanted to become the greatest egoist striker. Everyone wanted to score impossible goals. Everyone wanted to dominate the pitch. And Roblox developers noticed this. Here comes the golden era of Blue Lock Rivals. When Blue Lock Rivals released, something immediately felt different. The movement was smooth. The ability looked exciting. The gameplay rewarded aggression. Every match felt intense. Players weren't just passing the ball around. They were trying to become the main character, which perfectly matched the Blue Lock theme. People started posting clips, then more clips, possible clips, and 10,000 more. Goals, comeback, clutches, insane awakening, and their abilities. The game was creating content by itself, and that one of the biggest reasons why it grew fast from the owner, Crow, also known as the same community that Crollo was in. Time to get to the viral explosion of Blue Lock Rivals. Viral explosion. This was where everything changed. Blue Lock Rivals started spreading across social media. One player uploads a crazy goal, another uploads a comeback, a creator uploads a ranked challenge, another one creates how many goals scored. Millions of views start rolling in. New players flooded the game every day. The growth became unstoppable. The game wasn't simply growing anymore. It was exploding, it was booming, and then came its peak. The golden era. For many players, this was the greatest period in Blue Lock Rivals history. Servers were packed, ranked was thriving, content creators were thriving, the community was thriving. This era was the era where people would spend tired days grinding. The game reported reaching 1.0 million concurrent players. An unstoppable, unbelievable achievement. At this point, Blue Lock Rivals was competing with other football games. It was competing with the biggest game on Roblox. And for a moment, it looked unbeatable. But hidden beneath all the success were problems beginning to appear. This was the first crack. As Blue Lock Rivals grew bigger, balancing became harder. Some styles became stronger than others. Some abilities dominated the middle. Players started arguing which style was broken, which flow needed a nerf, which update ruined the game. At first, this argument seemed normal. Every competitive game had them. but they wouldn't eventually become much bigger. So, because soon the game itself would change. Now, Colo, the owner of the game, made a shocking decision that brought Blue Lock Rivals to its downfall. Then came the moment that changed everything. The game changed hands, community discussions exploded. Some players were excited, others were nervous. Whenever a successful game gets a new owner, uncertainty follows. Would their new team improve the game, or would they change too much? Nobody knew, but everyone had an option. And before long, the updates started arriving. Now this was a different Blue Lock Rivals. Reworks, balance changes, new additions. On paper, this sounded good things. After all, players asked for those updates. But updates aren't enough. The problem wasn't the quantity. The problem wasn't how players felt about it. Many veterans started saying the game felt different. Not necessarily worse at first, but just different. And that difference slowly became larger. The community divided. This was where the community split into two groups. One side believed Blue Lock Rivals was evolving. The other side believed Blue Lock Rivals was losing its identity. Arguments broke out everywhere. Comment sections, Discord server, TikTok videos, YouTube discussions. Every update created more debate, and the more divided the community, the harder it was to maintain the same hype. Now, let's talk about the people who actually bought Blue Lock Rivals. The people who bought Blue Lock Rivals are known as Do Big Studio, one of the biggest game buying companies. They bought Blade Ball, Go Garden, and Fish, in fact, so much more. And now, as you can see, the player count dropped. That's the same problem happening with Blue Lock Rivals. The biggest signs of trouble wasn't the bad updates, it wasn't a bug, it wasn't a style, it was the numbers. Slowly, the player count started dropping, then dropping again and again. A few players leaving isn't unusual. Thousands leaving isn't unusual. But when a game reaches over 1 million players, every decline becomes noticeable. People started asking questions. Where did everyone go? Why weren't their friends playing anymore? What happened? Another problem appeared. Competition. Roblox moves fast, very fast, and constantly jumps to new experiences. This moment another game become popular, attention shifts. Some Blue Lock Rivals players moved on, some stayed, but every player who left made it harder to maintain the old momentum. The giant that once dominated Roblox was no longer alone. Now here's the interesting part. Blue Lock Rivals isn't dead. Not even close. Many Roblox games would love to have a player count like Blue Lock Rivals still gets today. The issue isn't survival. The issue is comparison. Because when you stood at the top of the mountain, everything below feels smaller. People don't compare Blue Lock Rivals to an average Roblox game. They compare it to its peak, Blue Lock Rivals. And peak Blue Lock Rivals sets almost an impossible standard. Regardless to what happens next, Blue Lock Rivals left its mark. It inspired creators, it created communities, it produced unforgettable moments. And for many players, those memories are why they still talk about the game today. Whether it returns to its former glory or not, its place in Roblox history is still secured. The story of Blue Lock Rivals isn't really about the game. It's about what happened when the game becomes so successful that even small changes like Do Big Studios felt massive. Some players believe the game can recover. Others think the golden age is gone forever. But one thing is certain, for a brief period in Roblox history, Blue Lock Rivals ruled the platform. And that's a legacy very few games will ever achieve. Do you think Blue Lock Rivals can ever reach its peak? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more Roblox documentaries. Bye. Add your comments. Do you think Blue Lock Rivals will ever return to its peak?